This is the Giants Postcast, your instant game reaction for the San Francisco Giants, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Giants Postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E. Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR, or maybe from some of these other Locked On Sports postcasts we do. We also do Locked On Warriors and the Locked On 49ers postcast as well. And I wish I had some time to talk about those teams tonight, even though things aren't great in 49er land or Golden State Warrior land. It's all bad vibes here with the San Francisco Giants. They continue to play absolutely awful baseball as they were crushed tonight 8-2 by the Arizona Diamondbacks. Hayden Birdsong surrendered 4 runs, 3 earned before exiting after just 4 innings of work. Carson Seymour didn't fare any better as he gave up 3 bombs in just 3 innings of work. This game was littered with mental mistakes by the San Francisco Giants, and the snowball effect of the losing skid feels like it's building day by day by day. We'll break it all down, but first, I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Giants YouTube channel. Please, if you aren't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button right now. Thanks also for listening on the Locked On Giants podcast feed, and make sure to check out the Locked On Giants Daily Show for more in-depth coverage. My guy, Ben Kaspick, always does a great job. And this one actually started out pretty good for the Giants, man. I mean, they had a bunch of hits through the first couple innings. That second inning, they get some things going. They score a couple runs, and then things start to get a little weird in the third inning after Rafi Devers double with 2 outs and Wilmer Flores singles. Rafi tries to score from second base, and we've killed Matt Williams before for his bad sends. I don't necessarily think this one was as bad as the others. I get the situation here where after Wilmer Flores in this lineup, who is that big hit coming from? Dom Smith, Willie Adames, Daniel Johnson, Pat Bailey, Tyler Fitzgerald. I don't trust any of those guys right now to deliver a clutch hit for the Giants. So I get sending Rafi Devers on that play, but he was thrown out at the plate. And after that, the Giants didn't have a hit until the 9th inning. They went the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th innings, all without a hit. That's 5 consecutive innings. And it's not like they were doing anything. They just didn't have a base runner. They didn't draw any walks in today's game. So you're not finding ways to get on base. You're striking out a ton. I told you guys last night during the FanDuel read, bet on opposing starting pitchers, bet the over on their strikeouts. Hammer them while the Giants are in this stretch. If you just want to mitigate your bad feelings about this Giants team constantly losing games, maybe make a little bit of money off of it. You know they're going to strike out 10 plus times a game right now. Tonight, 12 strikeouts. Zach Gallen, who has been bad this year, ERA north of 5. And there's only one pitcher in baseball who's given up more runs than he has so far this season. He looked like his old self today against the Giants. Struck out 10, walked 0. 7 innings of work. Only gave up 2 runs, 1 of them earned. I mean, he just dominated the Giants. And to add insult to injury, the Diamondbacks go ahead. I can't do anything but laugh at this point, man, because if I don't laugh, I'm going to cry or scream, one or the other. The Diamondbacks go and get Anthony DeSclafani out of the bullpen just to rub some salt in the wound, man. And not only do they get Disco up in the game, it just to kind of show the Giants, hey, look, we'll even beat you with this old guy who you ran out of town. He mowed down this lineup, man. He gave up 1 hit over those 2 innings of work, double to Luis Matos, and he struck out 2. He had no real threat at all in his outing. And when Anthony DeSclafani is looking like a quality pitcher against you, you know you got some problems. And this Giants offense right now, I don't think it's a secret that it has a ton of problems. 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position, 3 left on base. You only had 6 damn base runners this entire game. It's putrid at this point. When the Giants were down 2-4 after Hayden Birdsong left this game, and you had Carson Seymour in there, and he gives up that first home run, which was just kind of a backbreaker for the Giants as well. We'll get into Hayden Birdsong's day a little bit later on in the show. But really, when that strikeout to Suarez happened and Pat Bailey let the second pass ball of his day get by, that should have been the 3rd out of an inning, and then Gurriel comes up, you just kind of knew that it was just in the air. Like something was going to happen in that inning because that runner got on base. And then free 90 came back to haunt the Giants immediately as Gurriel Jr. smashes his 12th home run of the season to left center field. And at that point, it was 6-2, and you just felt like this thing was completely over, completely out of reach, zero chance for the Giants to get back in this one. And I think Bob Melvin felt the same way too, because he just told Seymour, hey, Carson, I know this is your second big league game, but why don't you go out there and eat a couple more innings for us, get touched up for a couple more home runs before we can sit you down for the day. I mean, they just waved the white flag in like the 5th inning of this game. And can you blame them? I mean, you want to see the team fight, but have they shown you any sense of having fight to them at all in this series or in the prior series or even the series before that? The answer is no. This team looks lost. They look lackluster. They just look completely decimated right now. I think the All-Star break cannot come soon enough for this team. And let's just mark it right now. I think that was today's turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
And the turning point was absolutely that home run. I think that Gurriel, or actually we'll make it the Suarez strikeout that ended up, being a free runner on first base, because Pat Bailey let the second pass ball of the day go by. But you could make an argument for that 4th inning really being or really even the bottom of the 3rd inning. That's where we should start, being the real momentum shift for the Diamondbacks in this one. And it was a similar situation with 1 out and 1 runner on. Alek Thomas strikes out, but Pat Bailey, a pass ball, allows Alek Thomas it allows McCain to advance to second base. And after Perdomo is allowed to bat, then, because you should have had Perdomo came up and smacked a single. McCann should have been on first base. I'm getting lost of all the different Giants errors here, man. Perdomo up with that with 2 outs and that runner on second base. Should have been 2 outs, runner on first base. Bloop single doesn't hurt you in that situation, but because Pat Bailey allowed that runner to get into scoring position due to that pass ball, now that bloop single is all of a sudden coming back to haunt you, and the run scores. Then Hayden Birdsong started to get a little wild. That pass ball could have initially, I thought, been ruled a wild pitch by Hayden Birdsong, but he just could not find the strike zone at that point. In the bottom of the 4th inning, threw 10 consecutive balls, walked to the first 2 batters of the inning that he faced, and then Jake McCarthy hits his 2nd home run of the year. I mean, this guy rarely hits home runs. Jake McCarthy is like an ultimate slap hitter guy. Well, against the Giants pitchers right now, everything is getting out, it seems like. I mean, the Giants have given up a ton of home runs as of late, and tonight wasn't any different. Jake McCarthy hits that 3-run bomb, and at that point, it was 4-2. Giants were losing, and it really didn't feel like it was going to stop at that point. Hayden Birdsong completely lost control of his stuff. That fastball, he could not locate it. And we've seen him kind of struggle recently with utilizing his secondary pitches. And tonight wasn't very different for Hayden Birdsong. I mean, he threw the slider a lot more than he did in his last outing. But again, that changeup just isn't there. When it was there earlier in the season, he was pitching pretty well with that changeup. It's just not working right now for him. He only threw 13 of them tonight, threw 38 four-seamers and 27 sliders, 79 total pitches. He just didn't have it. I mean, that fastball was missing a ton. That changeup wasn't really a big factor in anything. I mean, he got 0 swings and misses on that four-seam fastball. And when he's usually on with that fastball, you see that you see him able to hit those corners, beat people with that high fastball to get a swing through strike 3. He didn't have any of that stuff tonight. I mean, absolutely none of it. And as I said earlier, Carson Seymour did not fare much better. He got hit really hard today off that sinker, off that four-seamer. Guys were just teeing off the Giants pitching, and there wasn't a whole lot the Giants offense was doing to make up for it. And Hayden Birdsong, we got to talk about him a little bit more on the other side. What do you think about him? Is he going to stay in the starting staff? I have told you guys repeatedly how much I like this guy, and I think he really does profile as a quality starting pitcher. But the results kind of speak for themselves at a certain point. Are you okay with Hayden Birdsong continuing to stay in the starting rotation? Or is it maybe time to shake it up again in this early season so far? Or I guess we're not early season anymore. We're past the halfway point, but still pre-All-Star break. A lot of baseball left to play in 2025. Should the Giants make a change in their pitching rotation? We'll talk about that next on the Locked On Giants postcast. Today's show is sponsored by Monarch Money. Ever wish managing your money felt easier? With Monarch Money, it can. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is more than just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in just one place. So in addition to managing your money, you can also start building wealth. I've started saving a ton thanks to Monarch. It helps me track all of my spending, like I said, in the exact in one singular place. It was so obvious to see that I needed to stop eating out so much. Now I budget smarter, cook at home more often, and my bank account looks a lot better. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com. Code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. And today's show is also sponsored by FanDuel. Summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game more exciting because the Giants damn sure ain't making any games exciting right now. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. And as I've been telling you guys, continue to bet opposing starting pitcher strikeouts, hammer the over. Continue to hammer the over on opposing starting pitcher strikeouts because this trend by the Giants has been kind of under the surface all year long, but it is so obvious that this team is going to continue to strike out when they're pressing and playing the way they are. So ride that wave. And if you're new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to jump on. New customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and today, the Giants just look awful. Continue to look terrible. Hayden Birdsong gets shelled. Carson Seymour gets shelled. And Birdsong, there's this lingering question that I feel like is bubbling up now. I don't blame Giants fans for having such knee-jerk reactions to things, but it feels like every time that a starter has a bad day, everybody in this fan base is clamoring for someone to drop out of the starting rotation, for another shakeup to be made. The Giants are running out of options to shake things up, right? Like you got Carson Wisenhunt still, who at some point I'm still expecting to see in a Giants uniform this season. We've been kind of on the fence with him the last couple of years about whether or not he would come up to the big league team. I thought for sure this year we would see him. Maybe that's the last bullet in the chamber, so to speak, the Giants have left to use as far as shakeups for the starting pitching staff. Ultimately, Hayden Birdsong, the Giants have now lost the last 4 games that he has started. In 3 consecutive games, he's given up 4 or more earned runs. And his earned run average has been slowly climbing all season. In the month of May, when he was exclusively used out of the bullpen, he had a 1.13 ERA, and he looked great. In the month of April, when he was exclusively used out of the bullpen. In the month of May, his ERA climbed a little bit. He had a 3.78 ERA in that month, and he had several starts. He had a couple starts in against Kansas City and against the Detroit Tigers, and he had four relief appearances before that. He pitched well in those 2 starts. Only gave up 3 earned runs against the Tigers, gave up 0 earned runs against the Royals over 5 innings of work. And then he had a couple more good starts at the start of June against the Miami Marlins and against the Atlanta Braves. He gave up 2 earned runs against the Braves, 1 against the Marlins. After that, things started to get a little wonky. The Giants lose that game, his next start, to the Colorado Rockies, gave up 3 earned runs in that one, then gives up 4 earned runs against the Red Sox in just 4 1/3, and then in his last outing, gave up 7 earned runs against the Miami Marlins. You remember that game because that was in the very beginning of this very awful stretch where the Giants lost that one 12-5. The Marlins scored a season high 12 runs against the Giants in that game. And then tonight, Hayden Birdsong can't reach that 5-inning mark again. 4 innings pitched, 4 runs, 3 of them earned. And he had a lot of walks, 4 walks in 4 innings of work. It's very, very bad stuff. It's not what you want to see. He did have 6 strikeouts for what it's worth, but I think that he's shown a mixed bag. And I really do think that he profiles as a starting pitcher, but his secondary stuff has got to be there. And when we've seen him utilize that secondary stuff earlier in the season with effectiveness, he's been very good. It's a matter, in my mind, I think it's a matter of him just hitting a wall because he did not have a ton of time in the minors to build up his innings, his durability. And we saw him hit a wall last year, kind of go through a little bit of a lull in the month of August, and then he bounced back about halfway through September before the end of the season. I think he's just hitting a wall again. I think that he is absolutely tired. I think his arm is sore. I think that they need to kind of maybe skip him a time or two through the rotation, allow him to kind of get some of that wind that he needs back, and see if that arm feels any better. Maybe a sore lower back stint on the IL for 10 days. Just give a start for Birdsong. Let him kind of just get his feet back underneath him, breathe, rest, get that shoulder feeling good again. I really do think it's probably just a matter for him of one, getting his mental state set, because when he starts throwing 10 consecutive balls in a row, that's not really a mechanical thing. That's more of a mindset thing. Like, he just couldn't get the ball over the plate. And so he needs some time, in my opinion, to just step away, reset the mentals, rest that arm a little bit, and maybe he'll regain form later on. I'm not 100% on board with taking Birdsong out of the rotation and kicking him back to the pen. I think that he should have a couple more chances with this starting rotation, mainly because who the hell else are you going to throw in there? I mean, I don't think Carson Seymour, who would be an option, has shown you enough. I don't think Carson Whisenhunt is going to jump right into being a starter with the Giants big league club. Maybe they do throw him to the wolves like that. But you don't really want to bring up a young guy with a really bad offense that isn't going to support him and just throw him out there against a team like the Diamondbacks. Or maybe you do it against the A's because they don't hit super well. But I mean, that's a really tiny park out there in Sacramento, and you don't really want to expose him like that. And then the only other options that you have after that between now and the All-Star game are against the Phillies and the Dodgers. So kind of a tough situation with Hayden Birdsong right now. Do you just ride him out until the All-Star break and hope that the break kind of heals gives him that little bit of rest that he needs to reset his mind and fixes these things that are going on? I don't think that's going to necessarily be the case. So I think that before the All-Star break, if I'm Buster Posey, I'm probably going to go find a way to make a roster move, get somebody up from AAA that can eat a start or two, and let Hayden Birdsong chill. Maybe you go to the bullpen and do a Spencer Bivens bullpen game. I know how popular those are after the Gabe Kapler regime and how much we really hated those, but sometimes you need them. And this might be a situation that the Giants need that just to get their guy some rest. But ultimately, none of this is going to matter if the Giants can't figure out how to score runs and how to stop making mental mistakes. I mean, tonight, as I said, 12 strikeouts, a lot of strike threes on balls in the dirt, not a lot of walks. Can't catch strike three twice, turns into 3 runs. In multiple other mental errors, Rafael Devers getting thrown out at home. All the free 90s coming back to haunt the Giants. I mean, even later in this one, it didn't result in a run, but you had Daniel Johnson throwing the ball from center field to third base for absolutely no reason, with no chance at all to get the runner, and you're giving up another free 90 to Alec Thomas, allowing him just to take second base on that play. That is the kind of stuff that's going to continue to happen with this team while they're pressing to win games. And I think that's what you're going to be talking about after this one.
This is what you'll be talking about.
And what you're going to be talking about is kind of the thing that we keep beating around on this whole show tonight. It's that the Giants have maybe some of these other levers that they can pull, but ultimately this team is just pressing and they're down bad, and they're going to continue to play bad baseball as long as they're pressing the way they are. They got to find a way to play loose, play free. You kind of heard Hunter Pence refer to that on the broadcast tonight a little bit, talking about the Dusty Baker philosophy. If you think lucky, you get lucky. And I think there is some truth to that. Just as Hunter said on the broadcast, positive thoughts kind of have a tendency to manifest positive things, right? If you're constantly thinking negative, you're going to attract some negativity. And same vice versa. If you're thinking positive, good things are usually going to happen eventually, and you'll start to believe in yourself a little bit more. The Giants got to find a way to believe, man. You got to find a way to draw on some positivity and convince yourself that you can actually maybe score more than 1 or 2 runs in a game. That maybe your starting pitcher in the month of July, because so far in exactly 1 day of July. It has not been very good to the Giants. I mean, new team, new month, new team was what we were hoping for, but right now it kind of just seems like more of the same. And maybe if tomorrow, the Giants kind of turn their fortunes around, maybe we can start to turn the rest of July around as well. But so far for this month, all of 1 day of it, your pitching has let you down, and you need to find a way to turn that around as well, because the pitching, I mean, while they haven't been terrible, they're certainly not looking like they were last month or the month before. They look like they have a little gap in their armor that it looked impenetrable at the beginning of the season. The bullpen was absolutely bulletproof, and the starting pitching was awesome. And now, I mean, they're not perfect. They're still, I would say, at least middle of the pack or upper half of Major League Baseball, but it's not as dominant as it was. And you're seeing what the results of that are. They have to be perfect for the Giants to win games. Got to figure out a way for this offense to get jump started and for these mental mistakes to stop. That's the first thing that needs to happen for this Giants team to turn things around. It's all the time that we got for you guys tonight here on the Locked On Giants postcast. It is very, 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 very tough sledding for this team right now. They're only 4 games over 500 at this point, 45-41. A long way away from where they were just a couple weeks ago when they were tied for first in the National League West with the Los Angeles Dodgers. It's all the time that we got for you guys today. We'll be coming to you live tomorrow as the Giants continue their 4-game series against the Diamondbacks. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We'll see you next time. Peace.